Lucy's got in touch with us via email. Thank you very much, Lucy. Lucy's question is, Hi, Tennis Weekly. As the WTA end of season finals have kicked off in Riyadh, we have seen poor crowd attendances of 400 people or less for some sessions, with reports even stating that tickets for fans are being sold at £6 per person. If money wasn't a factor and it was all about creating an atmosphere, where would you like to see the WTA Tour finals be held? So, very timely question from Lucy there. Thank you very much. Because, yeah, sadly, we have seen that the attendance in Riyadh has not been great, which perhaps hasn't come as a total surprise. But yeah, that's got us all thinking. Joel, have you got any thoughts? Where would you like to host the WTA Tour Finals if you could have
Take it back to
anywhere in
Fort
the
Worth,
world?
Texas. No.
Oof, that was bad.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I keep saying this. I know they have a 1,000 tournament in, was it in Guadalajara? Take it to Mexico. I think Mexico just delivers. Every time I see a tournament there, they just deliver on atmosphere. And I think they've shown that they've been capable in the past. And I want to see them get the kind of the top event.
I mean, it was
if money
there
was no object.
last year. It was in Cancun in a makeshift stand, which was a little bit problematic in that sense.
Money's no factor in this hypothetical
Guadalajara
scenario over there.
Yeah. Guadalajara has also hosted it. That was a very good event that they did. I mean, first, it's just a thought on what Lucy said, and it is true. There are less than 400 people watching some of the best players in the world at a time when over in Hong Kong at 250, there are thousands of people watching tennis. So something has gone wrong here. I think we all knew this would be the case. Women's sport is not something that's celebrated in Saudi Arabia. It's probably the place where you're least likely to find an audience. And everything has gone to show that they haven't even been bothered enough to get people in from the local community, which is a big shame. So it does just make me think almost anywhere would have been better if you're looking to create an atmosphere. And I do think, if money's no option, I would love to see it in, I think Asia has really proved itself this year. Some of the different locations, some of the smaller locations on the tour, I think that would be quite nice. It has always been there for quite a number of years. But I also think, stick it in the O2. I'm not saying that we have to bring it back to the London days. But I do think there is always a great audience for tennis in London, same as with Paris. I'm not saying that everything should be Western focused, but I do just think that I want to see tennis being enjoyed, and I want the players to get the atmosphere that they deserve, not just the prize money they deserve from people who actually need to sell tickets, because obviously they don't need to sell tickets in Saudi Arabia. It's not really about that. It's about the Saudi Arabians buying sport in many ways. So I think anywhere but would be my point, unfortunately.
I think I've missed greatly the choruses of London calling every November. With tennis players walking out onto court. So my pick would be the O2 as well.
We just want an easy trip.
I live in London, so I'm very biased. But maybe Copenhagen, Chris. They don't really ever have anything big in Scandinavia, do they?
They don't, do they? I'm trying to think, where is a place on the world map that has a great atmosphere, but not always the best when it comes to getting those tournaments. And I guess Copenhagen, there would be a really big crowd here, especially
Switzerland. I mean, I don't know.
Could you see them? This feels too ridiculous, but could you see it being like a, like the team events following each other with a little bit of overlap in Malaga? Could they do the same in Turin?
I'm also just thinking, could we have two close by capitals and then they meet for a final somewhere and do a bit United Cup-esque? That could be quite fun. But no, I do think it's it would be nice if they had the luxury of not having to follow the money and follow the crowd, because we've seen some fantastic scenes at the end of season finals. I've been rewatching some videos, of Serena and all sorts of different people playing, and it was electric. It was such an event. And now it feels like there's a lot to be said for qualifying. You do get some great matches. We've seen some great ones, which we'll talk about now, but it's not a great event, unfortunately.
No. Well, thanks, Lucy, for sending us in your question. Listeners, let us know where you'd maybe like to see it being hosted in the future. I mean, one thing we do need to talk about from the WTA finals that we have seen so far in Riyadh is the photo shoot, the eagerly anticipated photo shoot at the start. This year it was shot by Jingju Lin, a New York-based photographer, and it was in the historic district of Diriyah I might be saying that incorrect. I do apologise. And yeah, the final 8 were all dressed. There was no specific like color dress code this year, was there? Because last year Iga Swiatek turned up in a different color to everyone else.
Oh,
She
the
didn't
red
get
dress.
memo.
Yes.
But I think this year was very much you can do what you like as long as you wear some kind of nice designer dress. Um, Listeners, if you haven't already looked, maybe just have a Google. But Joel and Chris, do you have a favorite outfit from
Well,
the
I was going to say
photo
it
shoot?
feels like if there was some guidance sent to players, it was like no patterns or no jazzy outfits,
Yes.
because it feels very solid colors,
Sophisticated, though, isn't
plain
it?
colors.
Clean
Yeah.
lines, very sort of timeless luxury is what I'm getting. I love Paolini's outfit. I think it's very cool with sort of like a
Oh
choker
yeah,
attached
yeah,
to
I
it.
like that.
It blends quite well with the wall behind and the sort of wicker baskets they've put the
It
players
really
on.
does, yeah, definitely. And then I think, I love someone who's really seizing the moment. I think Zhang is really embodying a fantastic pose there. I think it's a great photo though. It's beautiful setting, and I do wonder if the photographer was the photographer that Sabalenka hit with a football.
I'm just saying, should Sabalenka not be on the other side of the trophy with
That's
Swiatek?
true. It's always the people who are nearest who get the spot. The people who finish 1 and 2, and then
Do
you
they
move
even think about
outwards.
this?
No, but that's
Is it
what
just
always
like-
happens
Maybe it was the
historically.
color thing. Maybe like with the dresses, they
Probably
didn't
you
want,
couldn't
they
have
want
a
to mix the pastels with the darker colors. I don't know. I have to say I do love Sabalenka's dress. It is my favorite.
off the shoulder number. Yes, very
Yeah,
nice.
it's very simple but classic, and I do love the color of the wall behind them as well. I love those sorts
Yeah,
of
it's quite
tones.
busy. It's actually there's a main road almost behind them on the other side. It looks very serene, but I think it might have been quite noisy. But as well as obviously the photo shoot, they have been playing some tennis. Have you managed to
Yes,
catch
of course.
any of the tennis so far?
No, I've only looked at the outfits.
Just the outfits.
Yes. Well, I have. Yes. I mean, Sabalenka's doing well. She's got 2 wins under her belt. And Rybakina sadly lost both of her matches, I do believe.
But she's there. That's something,
But
right?
she is there, of course, and she hasn't played in
But
ages.
that's not the biggest news from Rybakina this week, or the only news from Rybakina this week, because she has announced that Goran Ivanisevic is going to be a coach next season.
Yes. So he obviously has just parted ways with Novak Djokovic recently, and he will be off working with Elena Rybakina. I think in the upcoming pre-season, they're going to start working together. So come the Australian Open, if she's fit and healthy, it could be a magical combination if they hit it off. Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Do you think it's gonna be a successful one?
I think I'm just very pleased that she's back on the tour and she has found someone to provide stability in her camp. I think it's a high profile coaching hire. I think it's very, very serious attempt to improve the serve. She's got such a big weapon. And I think the service percentage numbers have always been a bit of a challenge. And he's obviously one of the most prolific servers of the game. I think the focus is obviously winning the Wimbledon title if you bring someone like that into your game, but also so much experience with the top level of tennis. I think that's fantastic. I also sort of think, given the nature of how her last coaching relationship panned out, I would have definitely have liked her to maybe have picked a woman as her coach, because I do think that that was not a great situation for anybody. And so I do just hope that in this new coach relationship that everything is much better. She's much happier and healthier, and everything is very much more above board, because I'm sure that she won't have those same problems with Goran Ivanisevic. And you just have to hope that someone of her talent is able to, keep playing at the top level and keep enjoying it.